How to use less makeup. Let's start with what we put into our body. That's the most important. We need to be drinking lots of water. Hydrated skin is happy skin. That is the most important thing, first of all. Next is to make sure your face is clean and that your skin is exfoliated, that we have no dead skin. And then, of course, we need to hydrate our skin on the outside as well by using a moisturizer. I also did use a face mask the night before, and so my skin is feeling very, very nice today. So once your skin is prepped, then make sure you grab some setting spray and prime your face, because what this is going to do is this is going to make sure that your makeup lasts all day, so you don't need to touch up and add more makeup to your face and use more product. So here I am just applying the setting spray to my face. My bottle's running out, so I'm applying it on my brush and just patting it into my skin. The next most important thing is to start by adding color to your face, because when we add color to our face first, it's going to make so that we don't need to be using as much product to be covering up blemishes and discoloration, because when we add color, it actually distracts from the discoloration in our face, from the blemishes, the melasma, the freckles, etc. So I'm just putting my eyebrows on. Now we're going to determine what we need to be covering. I'm going to be doing the inner part of my eye, my under eye. I've got some blemishes down here by my mouth. I've got some melasma along my jawline. And I'm going to be using all the highlight foundation colors on that. And I've got a little bit on my outer eye too. So this is where we add color first. I'll be starting with my contour. My contour will be going in this area along with my bronzer. And then I'll be putting my highlight in these areas as well as my concealer around up by my eyes and down my nose and anywhere I want to brighten. The contour acts as coverage as well because it is a very opaque cream. So I'm not going to be adding foundation highlight in any areas that I have contour, and I'm not going to be putting it anywhere I have bronzer either, because I don't have any blemishes or anything that I'm worried that will poke through. So here I'm just adding my contour to my forehead, my cheekbones, and my jawline. Now I'm dipping into my bronzer. It's a rich creamy brown color, but it is sheer, so it doesn't provide any coverage wherever I'm placing the bronzer. And again, what I'm doing is I'm taking away from the other distractions on my face by adding this color, and I will show you this in just a moment, a side by side of that. So here I am just blending up my contour and my bronzer together just to kind of have a seamless, beautiful finish. Now you'll notice in this side by side that I have diminished the distractions just by adding some color. Now let's go neutralize some of the other areas where I've got blemishes and melasma and some other distractions. I'm going to use that fluffy end of the brush, and I'm dipping into, it's called Candlelit. It's called Highlight in the Saint world. It is the equivalent of foundation. And I'm using the fluffy light side because I want the least amount of product as possible, so I'm using less product. My main goal right now is to neutralize the melasma and the discoloration that I have. I'll go back in on these blemishes that you'll see, and I will get a little bit more product on those areas that need a little bit more opacity because they have a little bit more depth and color. And same thing just along the jawline. There's another blemish right there that I'll be covering here. I'm just going to take that color up a little bit and blend out some of the veins and discoloration I have around my nose as well. And you'll notice I'm working around my contour and my bronzer color. I am not going up into it. I am sticking to one layer for all areas. I'm going to clean up this lip line here. Now I'm going to go in and put a little bit more product onto those blemishes that have more depth and that are just a little bit distracting still. Still using the tiniest amount to do this. I'm just using the dense end of that brush. This is my brightening concealer color. I'm going to go in with the dense end of that brush, and I'm going to go work around my eyes and clean up some of the purple and the blues and the freckling and the melasma pooling that I have. And again, I'm dipping in just the slightest, tiniest amount. I want to get very little on my brush, so you'll see me dip in a few times because I'm getting so little. I don't want to have a big glob that I have to spread around if possible. And again, I'm just doing this dabbing motion and kind of an upward motion as well. I also use that color to go and prime my eyelids so that when I go to do a eye color or an eyeshadow color, that I don't have to fight some of the scarring and the veins that I have on my eyelids. And you can already see around my eye brightening up. Once again, we're still sticking to one layer here and just working around in little motions where the distractions are. This is the best method that I've found to help me use less makeup. This will make my makeup go a lot further and last a lot longer. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side and just go ahead and use that same brightening concealer color and clean up around my eyes. I also use this for my forehead area to kind of blend down my nose as well. This is just in my triangle of light area where light would naturally reflect. So I'm just adding a little bit of that same brightening concealer color up on my forehead and along down my nose. You'll notice that I'm trying to not cover my skin up as much as possible. I want the natural luminosity to shine through where I can, whilst just removing distractions and anything that I don't like that takes away from where I want the eyes to focus. Here's the side by side of the distractions being removed. Now I'm going to add some lip and cheek color. I changed my mind on it. This is called Candy Lip and Cheek, and it's got a shine to it, so I'm kind of using it as my illuminator, aka highlighter, just to add some of that shine up on my high cheekbone. Because where we add light and a little bit of reflection, it bounces back, so we don't see that distraction as well. I saw a little blemish down here, a little discoloration that I wanted to touch up. Now, of course, we need to set our makeup. This is going to help our makeup stay in place all day, so again, we don't have to use as much by not needing to touch up areas later on in the day. So I'm going to add some of this pressed setting powder out of my compact to my under eye, on my blemishes, and along my jawline, and a little bit on my forehead. Basically anywhere I put the foundation highlight or the brightening concealer highlight colors. I don't set where I put my bronzer or my contour or my blush. So I'm just taking that excess powder that's on my brush and just bringing it out to those areas that I just mentioned. And of course a little lip gloss color to my lips. By having a lip and cheek color that I can use for both, it makes it so I don't need to use as much and have as many products. I am now dipping into my contour color, which is called Olive, that I use for my cheeks and my forehead. And I am going to be using that as my eyeshadow today. And I'm just using my finger because it is a cream. It's kind of a stiff cream. So it does blend really well with the finger, but it also is a little bit stiff, so I don't feel like it's going to melt off my eyes. What's nice about this contour is that it does have some opacity, so I didn't have to use as much foundation highlight on my eyelids, or excuse me, the brightening highlight on my eyelids to cover some of the distractions because I was going in with this contour today as my eyeshadow, which provides coverage. And remember that when a product has higher opacity, you don't have to use as much. Now it's time to put on my mascara, and done. And if you like a dewy finish, add some setting spray, as well as to help with the longevity of your makeup. And that's the finished product, guys. This is how I use less makeup when applying my makeup. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next time.